Dunfermline have taken care of third place. Arbroath now second place. Partick Thistle stand in the way of a potentially dream end to the season. A lovely comeback, and there's the opening goal for Kyle Morrison and Dunfermline. Well, that is how to answer back. Fitzpatrick! The flag is up to deny him. Oh, it's not far away. Captivating first leg. It sets it up for a huge game back in Firhill.
So all square in a keenly contested first leg on Tuesday night, and the stakes only get higher from now on. Can Partick Thistle again make it to the playoff finals and one step closer to the Premiership? Or will Dunfermline Athletic continue with the season of their dreams and be the side to be facing St Mirren in the final? Here we go then, it is the playoff semi-final second leg as Partick Thistle hosts Dunfermline Athletic under the Friday night lights. Good evening and welcome to Sports Scene. We love the Premiership playoff semi-final second leg. It always serves up drama, and tonight has all the ingredients to be something very special indeed. This evening we're joined by the sporting director of Partick Thistle, Ian Barraclough, and Michael Stewart. Welcome to you both. And Ian, how are the nerves? How's it feeling ahead of this huge match?
First of all, good evening, and it's great to be here. You know what, we've worked towards this. We've probably overachieved during the season, but coming second has been the aim. But it was the target was to finish in the playoffs. So the lads have done brilliant. Whatever happens now, and the cup runs on top of that as well. But now we're here. We want to get to the Premiership final and take on one of the bigger boys to try and get there.
You talk about exceeding expectations this season. How good a job has Mark Wilson done in your opinion?
Mark's done great, and Alex alongside him as well. I think that the way they've looked after the boys, worked with them. At the start of the season, I think Mark said in the press somewhere that recruitment needed to be on point to be able to get the players we wanted to get in. We've done a lot of hard work behind the scenes, but Mark and Alex have gone and worked with them and done really well, and you can't ask for any more. So hopefully we can get a good feel for it and get off to a good start tonight, and hopefully get a chance to have a shot for the Premiership.
I think it's important to recognise the fact that at the start of the season there was a lot of question marks surrounding Partick Thistle. Big changes. Mark Wilson coming in obviously on his own without Brian Graham as well. There's going to be a certain degree of the unknown with it, and to finish ahead of where the club was expecting to be, second, pushing St Johnstone as well at times. You were desperate for them to get a little bit further sometimes, Jonathan. Well, it's been a very exciting campaign, and there should be a lot of credit to the management team. Indeed.
Tuesday night was very interesting indeed, as Dunfermline Athletic and Partick Thistle fought out a 1-1 draw, and it was Dunfermline Athletic who drew blood first through Callum Morrison. And first and foremost, Ian, how impressed were you by the Pars?
Do you know what? Since Christmas, they've done very well. They didn't have a very good start. I think Neil was frustrated for sure, especially when I spoke to him early part of the season. But since January, they've took to it and just put win after win after win. At home, they've been strong. I think they've and for us to get out of the game the other night, one each, I thought was right. Never a penalty, free kick at best. Free kick at best.
Yeah, I think Neil Lennon disagreed with you there, Ian.
He always does.
It was definitely. It was outside the box. There was no question of that. I think if the foul had been given, it would have been outside the box. But on Dunfermline, I think the main thing that needs to be looked at, and Ian touches on it there, that for a large part it looked as if it was going to be a right battle between them and Ayr to try and get into that last playoff spot. And in the end, it's been quite comfortable for Dunfermline. So they're coming into these playoffs in a real good sense of confidence, form, cup final to look forward to. It's going to be a difficult game here tonight. Very difficult to judge who's going to get through.
Well, it was very even clearly on Tuesday night. As soon as Dunfermline Athletic had taken the lead, Partick Thistle decided to hit back through Ben Stanway, and it was a great goal, wasn't it, Michael?
Well, look, it's I think it just typifies Ben Stanway as a player. He's somebody that has got a keen eye for goal. At times he runs well into the box, and he's got great composure when he gets into those positions. Obviously frustrating for Partick Thistle, thinking that they've got themselves in front but getting flagged offside. But it's a evenly fought contest this between two very good teams, and it's going to be an intriguing final, whoever it is that gets through.
You know, that doesn't happen by accident either. Yeah. Ben works at his game. He's been brilliant for a young lad. Got into the team part of the way through last season. Didn't nail down a spot, but also worked at his game. As soon as he came back in the summer, he's done fantastically well. Alex Ray working with him and other midfielders to try and increase the output for in front of goal, and he's done that.
Certainly has. Big news before this match this evening is that Dunfermline Athletics goalkeeper Aston Oxborough will not be playing. He has been recalled by his parent club Motherwell because of an injury to their first choice keeper Callum Ward. Motherwell with a huge game away at Hibernian tomorrow in the Premiership. And Michael, just how big a blow is that for the Pars, would you say?
Well, it's clearly a blow. There's no question of that. You know, when your goalkeeper is not available at this stage at the season, at such a crucial point, then there's no doubt it's going to be a blow for them. Obviously, it opens up opportunities though for others, and it's one that I'm pretty sure Neil Lennon will want to try to not play up too much. He's going to want to try to just make it as seamless as possible and not make it a bigger issue than it needs to be.
It'll be an interesting one to watch. This is the hottest ticket in town in Glasgow this evening. The Partick Thistle fans full of hope. They've been in this position so many times over the years. Will this be the time they make it to the top flight? Dunfermline Athletic, well, they've travelled in great numbers, their fans. They're hoping for exactly the same. In terms of Partick Thistle this evening, they have made a couple of changes from the side that got that draw away at East End Park last weekend. And I think, Ian, one of the shining lights for Partick Thistle, as far as we can see, has been Alex Samuel, who comes into the side this evening. Tell us a bit about him and what he's brought to the club.
Yeah, Alex was one that we picked up sort of later on in pre-season while the League Cup stages were going on. Unsettles defenders. I don't think defenders enjoy playing against him. He backs into them, he makes it difficult, causes them mistakes, but what he has added to his game this year has been goals, and some of the goals have been fantastic at really good times. You know, when him and Tony Watt either play together or one comes on for the other, and it, you know, defenders must think, okay, we've got another one that's happening. So tonight we've gone with Alex starting and Tony on the bench, but don't be surprised to see them both at the same time.
Yeah,
it was a crucial position, you know, with Brian Graham going away, and Ian makes a good point there. Not a natural goal scorer, but it's added that element to the game which probably really needed to.
What Absolutely. A good personality as well. Sorry, great personality being around the squad, and that's something that we've tried to try and get across, that bring personalities in as well that are really good.
A smile on his face, absolutely.
And if he's been left out, so what? He gets on with it, and he plays his part from the bench.
So a good teammate. Yeah, let's look at the Dunfermline Athletic side this evening. It was a bit of a surprise on Tuesday night. They've been playing with a back three for most of the season, and then suddenly it was a back four, and it looks like being a back four again. But yeah, there's no getting away from the big team news this evening. No Aston Oxborough between the sticks, so a big moment for 22-year-old Billy Terrell, Michael, and he's played quite a few games actually this season. I think it's 17 in all competitions, but he will be under the spotlight, won't he?
Of course he will. Well, you know, there's no way of getting away from that, but it's an opportunity here for him, you know, to show up that he's capable. Obviously, Aston Oxborough is on loan from Motherwell. I don't know what's going to be the situation perhaps next season, and it certainly is a great stage for him to go out and show what he's capable of doing here.
Yeah, lots of ingredients this evening that makes everything here intoxicating in terms of a spectacle. And then there's the managers as well. They know each other very well. Mark Wilson was a player at Celtic under Neil Lennon, but they're both doing a fantastic job in their own rights in the dugouts this season. Let's hear from both camps now. Everyone's been chatting to Amy Cannon.
Mark, how are the excitement levels, the readiness levels for tonight's game?
Great, really looking forward to it. I think you can see the pitch is in beautiful condition. Players have been prepping obviously all week for it. Really enjoyed the game on Tuesday night. Thought it was a good spectacle for the neutral to watch at home. Plenty of chances, plenty of goal-mouth entries, and we're just unfortunate that we couldn't get the second goal. But you know, we're feeling pretty good about ourselves, and hopefully the players can peak at the right time.
What was the chat amongst the boys? Did it feel like it was a good base to come away with?
Well, I think I said last night it was a good point, so somebody told me it was the playoffs. But no, it was a good result going back to the to the home leg. Just hopefully that we can kind of use that in our advantage with the fans in our backing, and hopefully come away with a successful result tonight.
Neil, I've just had a little look at your team. I see no Aston Oxborough tonight in goal. What's the situation there?
Well, Motherwell's first choice goalkeeper's got picked up an injury, so they've obviously got a huge game tomorrow, and Aston has been called back by Motherwell for the last game. It's unfortunate, but it's part of the negotiation we have with Motherwell. They've been good enough to give us Aston, so it's just time, and it's really difficult for the team, but we've got a really good replacement in Billy Tyrrell, so we've no real issues. Obviously having Aston would have been good for us, but Billy's a great replacement.
I appreciate your full focus is on this game tonight, but is Aston just back for tomorrow? Will he be back in time for the Scottish Cup final and perhaps the playoffs that are still to come?
Yeah, he'll be back for them, you know, because I think it's Motherwell's last game tomorrow, so, and it's a huge game for Motherwell. You know, there's a great chance to get into Europe and finish off their brilliant season, so we respect that, it's no problem.
What's the mood like right now?
Yeah, right now we've got 2 big cup finals to play, and hopefully we can make that 4 tonight. So no, it's as I said, it's as a dream from a young boy to play in big games like this for your boyhood club. So no, I'm really looking forward to it.
I'm sure you're aware of Partick Thistle's record here at Firhill this season. How do you go about rotting that tonight?
That doesn't interest me. Records are there to be broken. Everyone has records, and they get broken all the time. So, you know, St Johnstone were unbeaten until we rocked up in, I don't know, January, February. So, like, if we are to go through, we have to win here. We have to break their unbeaten record. So that's not been in my thoughts at all. It's just about winning the games tonight.
Wonderful atmosphere here at Firhill this evening. Ian Barraclough, when you see these sights here, well, tell me, how does it make you feel?
It's what we've worked towards. It's what we've talked about, nights like this, giving the fans something to really shout about. You know, those guys behind there, the ultras, and everyone else that started to come to watch the games. They see a spectacle. I think there's a really good feel about the place. We can build on that, we can get better than that, but at the moment we want to try and make this one a fantastic season for us, and it's with their help.
And a big travelling support from Fife has come through as well. And what would it mean, Michael, do you feel, for Dunfermline Athletic to make it to the top flight?
Oh, I mean, it goes without saying it would be huge, but I think they do get a sense that there's something bubbling along at Dunfermline. It's been a successful campaign already, regardless of what happens from here on out. And there's a feel-good factor. You know, there's new owners in. They can see that the club's moving forward. They've got a manager that's got that X factor as well. When you hear Neil there talking, he's somebody you can actually believe in. You know, he's talking about coming to Firhill. I don't care. You know, it's there to be broken. He's somebody you can really believe in, and you know that he's going to get that team full of belief and confidence. And he does propel the team to a different level other than if he wasn't there. He's a real top manager.
Ian, very briefly, what would it mean to Partick Thistle to be in the top flight?
It's a fan-owned club. The fans want us there. They believe that we deserve to be there. We've built steadily. It'll be everything to us.
Michael, in terms of prediction for tonight, what are you going to go for?
Wait until I get a coin out and toss it. I mean, literally, it's that tight. I think it's impossible to predict what's going to happen here between two sides that are very, very evenly balanced out.
It is on a knife edge. Ian, I'm going to ask you for your prediction. I know which way you're going to go.
No, don't make predictions.
Don't
make predictions, no. I'm not very good at them.
What a cop-out. You know what? We'll have to move on anyway. Ian, it's been a pleasure having you here. Thanks very much. Good luck tonight. More from Michael at half-time. It's another special night here at Firhill. Will it be for Partick Thistle or Dunfermline Athletic? Commentary comes from James McFarren and Alistair Lamont.
Thanks very much, Jonathan. It is winner takes all at Firhill. It's Partick Thistle and Dunfermline face off for the right to face St Mirren in the Premiership playoff final. It couldn't be any more finely balanced. But what will it take to separate these two? 90 minutes, 120, or even penalties? Whatever the answer, all the action will unfold right here. Really crackling atmosphere inside Firhill ahead of this one. Almost a full house. Barely a seat to be had out there. Thistle make a couple of changes to their starting lineup, with Robbie Crawford and Alex Samuel coming in to replace Sosa and Watt. Samuel's made a habit recently of scoring against Dunfermline, including both in last month's win right here. Dunfermline's only change we've been hearing is a highly notable one. Aston Oxborough has already played a significant role in these playoffs, recalled by Motherwell and replaced in goal by Billy Tyrrell. Otherwise, it's as you were for Neil Lennon's side. Lee Ashcroft has won 2 championship promotions, including the 2021 playoff with Dundee, and the man who played 164 games for Dunfermline would dearly love to go up again with Thistle this season. Callum Morrison's opening goal on Tuesday was his first in 7 games after a run of 5 and 4, and Dunfermline will hope he's starting another streak to help fire them to the playoff final. That's Callum Scott, who takes charge of this huge game tonight. Mark Wilson, who came so close last season as co-manager along with Brian Graham in the playoffs, but lost at this stage to Livingston. And as the teams have changed ends, it's going to be Thistle to get us underway. Terrific conditions, actually, really still night, and we're underway. These two big clubs will both feel they've been missing from the top flight for too long, 8 years and 14 years respectively, and one of them is going to have to wait at least another season. And here to tell us exactly who that's going to be is James McFadden.
Yeah, I don't know if I can tell you who it's going to be. What I can tell you is 2 clubs that are absolutely ready to go and play in the Premiership. You look at, you know, the home fans here packed, the display at the start, outstanding, and the away fans packing that away end. 2 good teams. I think that is tough to call. Partick Thistle, you would have to favour being at home, having that, you know, that rest in between games. Probably should be up to speed by now after Tuesday night. Pitch is magnificent. Hopefully we get a good game of football, but you just never know in games like this out.
Yeah, Tuesday was a good watch. Chances at either end, certainly beyond the 2 goals we did get. Shea Kearney picks up and fires it out to Matty Todd, who once again starts over on that left-hand side, and Robbie Fraser offering good support. That might come for Callum Morrison, and he just slashes at it and gets it all wrong. But that was a decent early opening in the opening 90 seconds of the game.
Yeah, it's a half chance for him. I mean, it's good movement, slightly fortuitous coming through to him, but he's first to react. Callum Morrison keeps his eye on it, just slashes at it. I wonder if Ben Stanley in front just does enough to put him off. But the pitch will certainly help both teams. I know Mark Wilson mentioned it before the game, and fair play to the ground staff here because it is looking magnificent. But that Dunfermline will be happy with that as well.
This will get the free kick for the challenge there on Ben McPherson. Matty Todd setting up the opening goal the other night from that position. What do you make of the switch up front for Thistle? Samuel for Watt?
Yeah, I think, you know, Alex Samuel count himself unfortunate not to have started on Tuesday night, and maybe, you know, I think Mark Wilson spoke after the game about, you know, being the plan potentially. You know, it was a case of, you know, playing starting one in the first game and starting the other in terms of him and Tony Watt. But Alex Samuel's had a tremendous end to the season.
Here comes Thistle through. It's Partick into Smith. Now Samuel loops that back Smith's direction. Well dealt with by Gilmore. He's given that. Oh, Pointed as if he was giving that to Dunfermline, but then changed his mind. So O'Reilly. Gilmore. Ahmad. Let's get that to Reading. Now Fitzpatrick just keeping it in. Come back to Stanway. He's well challenged by Ahmad.
You look at the difference between Samuel and Watt. I think Samuel will try and play up on the back line, try and stretch the game. Tony Watt likes to drop in and get involved in the build-up phase. Samuel more lead the line through the middle, maybe more of a link man for the ball coming in. You look at Crawford and Stanway getting around him. Fitzpatrick and Chalmers coming off the sides as well. It's a slightly different profile player.
One thing the guys were mentioning pre-match, the fact that he's added goals to his game, which he certainly has done. 12 for the season. He was never a prolific goal scorer at Ross County, albeit his time there was really hampered by injury. Gwenya hacks that one clear. Vying for a place in the playoff final, which will either be next week if Thistle win, or the week after if Dunfermline win, owing to their involvement in the Scottish Cup final. Callum Morrison is intent on making sure it is them in the playoff final as well. Gilmore out to Fraser, ball forward for Andrew Todd, trying to free himself from the shackles of Ashcroft. That was O'Reilly in there just ahead of Kane. Fraser under a bit of pressure here from Chalmers. Samuel gives chase. First big test for Billy Tyrrell, and he does enough to force it out of play.
Billy Fraser has a look here, thinks about it, then he does it. Samuel's alert to it. He's confused as to why it's not a Thistle throw-in, but he kicks it. Tyrrell kicks it off of Alex Samuel. Certainly not the type of back pass he was looking for early on in this game.
No, he has played relatively recently in the first team back in the middle of April. Oxborough was also recalled to Motherwell, and he stepped in for a game against Airdrie. And as Jonathan mentioned, this is his 18th appearance of the season, but certainly Aston Oxborough is their #1 at this stage. And he's come up with a couple of big saves, not least the penalty stop in the last minute against Arbroath to ensure their progress from the quarter-finals. Chalmers, back to McPherson, now Ashcroft. Josh Clark had a relatively quiet night at East End Park for all Dunfermline's possession and attacking threat. Didn't overly work the keeper. Straight out of play. A little bit of a tentative start as Ahmad plays it forward. Morrison does well to force that into Kane, and then on to Morrison, who's in behind here. Callum Morrison! Just too much on it. It's a really good chance though.
It's a big opportunity. Callum Morrison, good link up between himself and Chris Kane. Looks onside. He's got potentially the option to square it for Andrew Todd. He's trying to cut across that and go for the far post. Cuts across it too much and it goes near post high. It's a good opening for Dunfermline.
We're hoping that he doesn't rue that miss. Missed a big chance early on against Falkirk in the Scottish Cup semi-final, but obviously Dunfermline progressed in the end on penalties. But that was a really clear-cut chance for Morrison.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't as good a chance as the one you're speaking about against Falkirk, but he's not executed it the way he would like. Clearly he wants to score, but he's trying to go across goal and keep that, you know, inside the post clearly, but he just slices across it, almost snatches at it. Again, the positive is that, you know, he's managed to get in and get that opportunity.
Riley wins that above Kane. It's going to be an interesting battle throughout. Samuel gets a free kick there. Chillicothe-Mullen protests that one.
He can protest all he likes, it's a foul.
Samuel and Kane, they must both at either end be an absolute nightmare to play against, to try and mark.
They just enjoy that physical, you know, battle, whether it's, you know, against another physical defender or not. They just back in and use their strength.
Fitzpatrick's free kick, won by O'Reilly. Free kick has been given, it's an offside actually. Flag is up on the far side. Thistle have drawn their last 4 games. Need to change that tonight.
I mean, I don't think that's the right call, but can't do much about it.
O'Reilly certainly wasn't offside. Ashcroft, I think, probably was, and maybe just made a motion to go for the ball, which might have attracted the
I think he's still on.
Do
I
you?
think Ashcroft is on as well. I think that might be Andrew Todd that's deeper in the line, closest to the camera there as the ball comes in.
To Samuel, who's backing into Nguyen this time. Causing him difficulty. Here's McPherson, slips that through for Crawford. He tried to do the same for Samuel. Chillicothe-Mullen was alert to it. Gilmore just shrugs off Crawford. He's claiming he was fouled. Referee unmoved by those claims. Certainly did well in the first instance.
Yeah, he takes a really good first touch, Charlie Gilmore, and gets away from Crawford. There may be a bit of contact, but I think that's just a heavy second touch.
Sheen Smith with a big diagonal out to Fitzpatrick. A chance now to try and get the better of Kearney. Comes back in field to Smith, who this time finds Stanley. Little flick for Aidan Fitzpatrick. Callum Morrison there to help his defence. Concedes the corner.
That's certainly something they didn't do enough. Thistle on Tuesday night, let's go through Oisin Smith. We know his range of passing, how he can control games. Fitzpatrick just working the space down the left hand side, but I have to say good defending from Callum Morrison.
Fitzpatrick with a corner kick then. Teases it in, it's Nguyen with the header. Returned by Stanway, and Nguyen once more meets it. And then Morrison fouled by Stanway. And the pressure relieved on the Dunfermline back line.
Yeah, it's clever from Morrison, he just backs in. Ben Stanway knowing He's probably not going to be able to take the ball away, but certainly not allowing Stanley to get in front of him.
Ashcroft getting the better of Andrew Todd. Shutting it back to his goalkeeper. There's Ashcroft clipping that one up onto the chest of Samuel. Chillicothe Mullen again. Grappling with Samuel and conceding the free kick.
Right to the last one. There's a big space because Crawford and Stanley are playing wide and stretching Ahmad and Gilmer to allow that ball to go straight into Samuel.
It's gone out for a throw in. Yeah, Smith's got a lot of room in there, hasn't he? Just playing that little deeper role.
Yeah, it's a job of either Andrew Todd or Chris Kane to go on Oisin Smith to stop him from dictating it, but because Crawford and Stanley are peeling so wide, they're playing outside Gilmer and Ahmad, it means that they can get it and move forward, or the ball can go straight into the feet of Alex Samuel. But I have to say, you know, they are doing it well, Kane and Todd, but if they switch off and give Oisin Smith time, he will be able to pick a pass. We know that.
Chalmers. Switch of flanks out to Fitzpatrick. Looks to try and find Stanley. Almost got wrong side of Ahmad there. Looking for the run here of Paddy Redding, and Morrison's done well just to see that out. It's good backtracking, important work.
Yeah, and it's massive. It's massive in football, but if you're playing a 4-4-2, then you have to be switched on. And Morrison is, not for the first time. Alert to the run-up. Redding on this occasion does really well.
One by O'Reilly. Gwenya just nips in though. Only unbeaten home record in the league of Partick Thistle, a better home record even than the champions St Johnstone. Won 12 of their 18 here in the league. Drawing 6, albeit they've only won 2 of the last 5. One of those was against Dunfermline. Smith overdoing it, and now Kane. And if he can slip in Morrison, he might go himself. He has gone himself, and he's sent it just wide via deflection, and they'll get the corner. And Dunfermline threatening again.
I tell you what, it's great pressure from Dunfermline. Andrew Todd nicking it off Oisin Smith. Chris Kane looks like he's going to go and play it to Callum Morrison. He's done me, and he's done the 2 defenders as well, and that's a brilliant save, you have to say. It looks like he's going to go across here. There you go. And it's a decent strike. Good pressure from Dunfermline.
Really unlucky. Chris Kane didn't add to his quarter-final goal against Arbroath. That's Ngwenya winning the header. Comes out to Todd, who'll try and get it back in. He's on his side, another corner. I think pretty much everyone, like yourself, James, was predicting a hard-fought, a tightly fought game, this one, and so it's proving in these opening exchanges.
Yeah, it's no surprise. I mean, 2 very good sides, loads of talent, you know, on either side, and that is going to be close. I know that the record for Partick Thistle is good against Dunfermline this season, but when it's winner takes all, then that makes it very, very different.
Referee just on a quick word with all the players inside that 6-yard box. It's not stopped anything particularly. It's a great ball in. Oh, how is that not gone in? Partick Thistle escape one there. Gwenya was certainly one of those trying to force it home at the back post.
Yeah, and he should. I mean, comes off the ball. Samuel's probably doing just enough to stop him from getting a free head at it, but no, he should score there. Gwenya. I know the angle's not great, but his team should be ahead.
The last 3 pretty decent chances that Dunfermline have had in these opening stages. Partick Thistle yet to trouble Billy Tyrrell at the other end, causing a bit of anxiety in the stands here. Stanway tries to help that on, that'll come through to Tyrrell, who immediately bowls it out to Kearney. Morrison, that's slack from him. Smith picks up, it's taken down by a man, but the referee plays a good advantage as Samuel puts it out to Fitzpatrick here. Stanway in support, as is Paddy Redding. Redding with the first time ball, and that's not a bad ball at all. Begging to be attacked. It's just going to drift behind for a goal kick.
It's a great ball, and you know the way that it's set back by Aidan Fitzpatrick, that's a trigger, because he's going to step on and hit it first time. Alex Samuel, Crawford in there, Chalmers are all on their heels. There's only one thing that's happening there, and that ball's coming in first time. They should be alert. It's a really good delivery from Redding.
Tyrrell signed from Bournemouth last summer, so pretty decent pedigree. Lennon has chopped and changed over the course of the season. Dennis Mehmet's had some game time as well. He's on the bench tonight. Their long-serving keeper. Ahmad picks up into Keane. Gwenya for Fraser now. Almost finds the ball forwards. Thistle pick up. Chillico Mullen gives the ball back to Thistle.
Thistle trying to go and build through. Oisin Smith, we've mentioned him on Tuesday, mentioned him tonight. The Fairmen are just shutting those passing lines to him, and then, you know, between Kane and Todd, they make sure that it doesn't go on it, apart from here. But that's exactly what Thistle are looking for.
Here's McPherson. And the pass from Smith. Now Chalmers. Chalmers teases it in. Samuel's there! Well, there's the first big chance. It's Stanway, actually, who was gliding into the penalty area. And either side of the keeper, and that's surely the opening goal.
That's a big opportunity. And just speaking about Oisin Smith and how they couldn't get him on the ball, and it's because they're playing it across the back line, almost waiting for that first pass to go into Smith. But he's got the other side of Kane and Todd, and they work it well, get it wide. Stanway, as we know, speaking about adding goals to his game, the timing of his run's excellent. He'll be disappointed he hasn't found the back of the net there.
Yeah, that is a golden opportunity for Stanway to add to his 12 goals for the season.
The delivery is outstanding from Logan Chalmers. Timing of the run, I can't quite believe it, Ben Stanway. Great movement, great position for him to be. Just trying to glance it at the far post.
Midway point in the first half, and Neil Lennon's Dunfermline have been probably the more threatening side, but almost going behind there. Dunfermline come into this game unbeaten in the last 5 since a home defeat by St Johnstone, which wrapped up the title. There's a ball forward, Fitzpatrick looking to get on the end of it. Kearney gets his toe to it to knock it behind. It's Fitzpatrick. It's a good ball to the near post. I think O'Reilly got his head to it, but couldn't get it on target.
It's a great delivery. Just dropping over front post area. Just I mean, he has to go and attack it. Probably a little too close to beyond the near post. It comes off his shoulder.
Both sides have had their chances, none taken thus far.
Yeah, but they get that opportunity because it's the ball over the top for Fitzpatrick. Okay, Kearney cuts it out, but having that threat to go in behind and stretch the game, variation to your play, allows you to get control. Narrowing up to stop that ball from
very clever.
Feet.
It's not. They're not actually marking him. They're just stopping the pass getting to him, for the most part, at least.
On the other side of that, you've got Crawford and Stanway that are high and wide to try and create that space. Try and just make sure there's enough space for Smith to go onto it.
Big night tonight. It's a massive day tomorrow, and Sportsound and Off the Ball will have it all for you. It's Sportsound that kicks us off at 11:30 tomorrow on BBC Radio Scotland. And highlights of all the top 6 action, including that final day decider for the title. Tomorrow night and Sunday night at 7:15. The bottom 6 finishing up on Sunday. Well, Chalmers has been stopped because there's a head knock. Now, the home fans aren't happy, but Chris Kane down holding his head. And we know the rules by now. I don't think Chris Kane tends to be the kind to go down lightly.
No, I think he just get caught in the sandwich here. He's actually in it. Yeah, nothing.
Get to take that back.
Yeah, you're going to have to out. And look, the referee's got no option. He probably doesn't see it. I think he's expecting Kane to go up. I'm going to imagine the fourth official, one of his assistants, has told him that Kane's still down holding his head, but what's wrong with him there?
Yeah, well, it certainly stopped what was a pretty promising attack for Thistle. So, in that instance, the home fans were right to be disgruntled. Morrison again, and Reading run that out of play. Assistants flagged. Reading disagrees, but throw will go the visitors' way. Shoved in the back there as well, but it's just a throw into Thistle. O'Reilly forward for Samuel. Again, good battle with Chillico and Mullen. Rangers pass forward came off a Thistle player, and now it breaks for McPherson. Out to Chalmers. Looking to cut back in on that left foot, but Fraser was wise to that. Tension around time to trot out that old cliche about the first goal and its importance, James.
Yeah, I mean, it isn't any game, but you can understand as well, you know, the nerves, the tension in the game. You look at the work that Dunfermline are doing off the ball to try and stop Thistle from getting control of the game, and that'll be the frustration for Neil Lennon. They have had chances early, but haven't really offered much in the last 10 minutes or so.
Chalmers trying to help that on.
You would have said that on Tuesday as well, and there was what, a minute and a half between both goals.
Yeah.
We are getting to that point where, you know, one goal could be all the difference.
Samuel is under control and leaves it to Fitzpatrick. Reading had made a good run forward there. Fitzpatrick keeps it though. Then tries to get it in. Chillicombe get a great deal of distance on that. Stanway gets it back in. Samuel for Crawford here. It's always going to be difficult to really get a great deal of power on that coming away from goal, but the target.
Yeah, it was always difficult to right out. Samuel again just backing in, using his strength. It's always going to be from goal. Crawford to generate the power and the accuracy. Maybe some hit from there.
Could be an issue here for Callum Morrison. Certainly going to need some attention. We've lost Aston Oxborough. He won't want to be losing Callum Morrison at this stage.
Yeah, but he felt that down in the right back area, Callum Morrison, and he's tried to go and run it off, and clearly discomfort there for him.
They'll take their time here and try and get Callum Morrison back on his feet. Certainly, I wouldn't say they're a natural replacement for him wide right on the bench. You could bring on the likes of Josh Cooper. It's a change in dynamic. It's pretty sanguine about the whole thing right now, Neil Lennon.
Yeah, he could potentially go for another midfielder and move Andrew Todd out to the wide area. He's back on and he's going to try and run it off.
Gwenya with composure into Gilmore, quickly closed down by Crawford. But too much zest in that challenge for the referee's liking.
I mean, it is a foul slightly late, but it just shows you that they're not going to be given time in the ball. Dunfermline, particularly in that midfield. I thought Gilmore and Ahmad were excellent. The game went on, looking to play forward and take control of the game. Clearly that's the intention of Partick Thistle, not let that happen tonight.
Todd's one throw in. Haven't seen too much of him so far. Todd gets the cross in. It's going to almost come for Callum Morrison. It was Reading. A crucial header clear. Kearney helps it into Andrew Todd. Looking to spin away from O'Reilly. It's just too high for Keane. Matty Todd picks up. Back to Fraser. Early ball in. Away by Reading. Kearney keeps it alive. It's Morrison now. He find a half a yard to get the cross in. Kearney will instead. It's a good ball. Todd being closely marshalled. Gilmore! Dunfermline in And there is the breakthrough, that crucial first goal we were talking about. And it's Charlie Gilmour who lashes it into the back of the net to give the visitors the advantage at Firhill.
Well, it's cross after cross for Dunfermline, and the quality in the crossing from either side, excellent. They managed to keep it alive. And Gilmour, Thistle can't deal with it. McPherson at the back post, and Gilmour's alert to it. But it's a lovely cross again. It's a way to pass. The layoff from Morrison makes Kearney's mind up for him. Gilmour down into the ground, no mistake. It's a wonderful finish.
Savoured that one. Charlie Gilmour's third goal of the season, his first since December. By no means a prolific goal-scoring midfielder, but he's popped up with what could be a precious one tonight. Thistle responded quickly at East End. Can they do so again here? It's Reading trying to bundle his way through it. Samuel, well, they almost did exactly that, even quicker this time. But Tyrrell able to gather Samuel's shot in the turn.
Yeah, I mean, the angle's not great. It's a good run from Reading, marging his way through it. And he is going for the cross. Samuel deflection takes it into the arms of Tyrrell. Message will be clear from Neil Lennon. don't do what you did on Tuesday night. Make sure if you get a lead you hold on to it for a spell.
Samuel hits the deck, no foul though. Dunfermline fans, a good voice over on the far side from us. Well, they might be Gillico Mullen running into trouble in the shape of Robbie Crawford. He's gone all the way through to Tyrrell. What an end to the season this could be for Dunfermline. Already in the Scottish Cup final, having beaten 4 Premiership teams on the way there. And now we've taken a step towards the Premiership playoff final and a potential return to the top flight. Been away since 2012.
I mean, there's a long way to go, but I mean, you're absolutely spot on. Finland will get through this. 3 games in succession, you know, a cup final and playoff finals. I mean, they would have hoped for playoffs and, you know, tried to get in and be competitive, but if that's the way they end the season, then fair play to them. But I'm sure Thistle will have something to say about it. You see their character, good team, good players. They've shown many occasions this season. They've got the character as well.
Good play from Reading, but then Fitzpatrick is thwarted by Ahmad, who gets it back from Morrison. And will try and switch the play. He was looking for Todd there, or Matty Todd, but it came to Andrew Todd. Thistle managed to deal with that. I guess Dunfermline's first target is to at least have this 1-goal advantage going in at half-time.
Without doubt. You know, learn the lesson from Tuesday night. When you go in front, protect your lead. Of course, that doesn't mean sitting back and being more defensive, but just don't allow openings. Certainly the players will be aware of that. Make sure they get in with this lead at half-time.
Pearson feeds it forward, looking for Crawford, well read by Nguyen, who makes the throw in as well. takes a chance and gets away with it. Now tries to clip it over for Fitzpatrick. He should keep this in. Fires it into a really dangerous area. Crawford will return it. Ahmad will deal with that one. Smith in there ahead of Kane. He gets up and fouls Smith again. Well, Kane felt he was fouled in the first instance and got himself back up and shoved Smith to the ground, and this is a free kick in a pretty decent position.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great ball from Fitzpatrick. Samuel just goes ahead of the ball and they try and keep it alive. I actually thought Smith got the ball first. You can see why Chris Kane's went for the foul, but the recovery was pretty good.
So we're talking about 28 yards from goal here, very central area. Does Oisin Smith fancy this? Looks like he does. He's going to take it on, and that's a good save from Tyrrell. A really good hit from Oisin Smith. Good height, you could say, for Tyrrell, but needed saving.
Yeah, I mean, we know he's capable. Looking as he's lining it up, Tyrrell was, from this angle, looked like he was really close to his far post for here, given a target for Smith to hit, but he gets right behind it, Tyrrell.
Fitzpatrick switches it up from the corner. Chalmers had come across, but couldn't angle his effort on target.
Yeah, normally see that getting in for Ashcroft O'Reilly to go and attack, but clearly one off the training ground. I just wonder if he can go with his left foot there, Logan Chalmers.
But you would think it'd actually be more natural for him.
Yeah, I mean, clearly that's the intention for him to get a shot with his left foot, but because it's bouncing up, his body's in there, he's maybe just trying to flick it on into an area. I'm sure it worked better than training.
Nguyenya's got to be careful. Tyrrell's made a real hash of that, and he's got away with it as Nguyen digs him out of a hole before Samuel could bury it. Here comes Fitzpatrick though, into the area, blocked by Chillicoa Mullen. Thistle looking to get back on terms before the interval. Fitzpatrick once more up against Kearney here. They'll take another corner. Been a decent response from Thistle.
Yeah, it has. And Tyrrell and Nguyen, just miscommunication, leaving it for each other. Tyrrell then takes a huge swipe at it, but he's there to clear it up. Just getting each other's way.
Fitzpatrick curls this one in. It was just too high for Ashcroft. Nguyen got that one clear. Fires it long. Chillicoa Mullen got his eye on that one. Ahmad, something on it. And again. Pick up though. Here's Robbie Fraser. Out to Matty Todd. And to Gilmore, the goal scorer. Ahmad for Kearney. Now Chillicoa Mullen. Time to measure his pass forward here, looking for Morrison. Watched by O'Reilly. It's going to be a Thistle throw-in off Ahmad. Kane knocked to the ground there by Smith as he just tried to find a bit of space, and the referee's stopped play and wants a word with both of them. Chance they'll do that again, isn't it?
See how intent Chris Kane is in stopping Oisin Smith getting on the ball. frustrating for Ocean Smith.
Stanley takes the responsibility there from the throw-in. Down goes Crawford. Chillicomullen penalised. Thistle fans round about us asking how many. Referee wants that one taken again. Partick not at all happy that the referee pulled that one back. Says you need to wait for the whistle though. It's going to be Chalmers then to flight this one in. It's over Ashcroft and it's Nguyen who gets his head to it. At least I thought it was.
Yeah, I'm with you. I thought it was Nguyen as well.
System on the far side, certainly giving the throw in Dunfermline's way. Still think it was Nguyen.
Yeah.
Partick Thistle facing at the moment 5th year of playoff despair. Still time to turn things round, but things not going their way at the moment for sure. As we enter 2 minutes of added on time at the end here.
No, it's not. They've had a couple of chances, very good one from Ben Stanley, but not as much control as certainly they would like or maybe expect. Had a lot of the ball, but it's been in these areas waiting to try and probe. Had some success going over the top. Dunfermline have been organised in front of them.
Riley looking to hit Fitzpatrick, just too much on that. The rain was coming down a few minutes ago, and that's probably just made the surface a bit more slippery. Ball just skidding off it there. Thumbs are clear. Ferson is giving that straight to Matty Todd, who tries to find Andrew Todd. Ashcross with him, and Dunfermline create something more before half-time, not on this occasion. Good defending from Ashcroft. Gwenya is then taken out. Stanley bounces back to his feet. And the referee brings the first half to an end. Well, it's been nothing less than gripping once more. That man, Charlie Gilmore, has had the decisive say thus far with the only goal of the game. Lashing into the back of the net, just over 10 minutes left in the first period. Both sides have had other opportunities, but neither have been able to take them. Ben Stanley perhaps having the best of those with a header for Thistle. Dunfermline it is who take the advantage into the changing rooms at the interval in this playoff semi-final second leg. They lead on aggregate and they lead on the night. Partick Thistle 0, Dunfermline 1.
The Premiership playoff final second leg always delivers. It was simmering for a little while, but it's come to the boil at the end of that first half. And it is Dunfermline Athletic who have the advantage. If Dunfermline Athletic manage to get the victory this evening, it would be their first of the season against Partick Thistle at the 6th time of asking, but a lot of football still to be played. With us this evening, Michael Stewart. Michael, overall, they've obviously got the goal. Have Dunfermline Athletic been the better side for you?
Well, I think both teams have probed. They've been, I think there's been a general sort of threat from both the sides, but You're talking about there in regards to if they manage to see this through, the first win against Partick Thistle in 6 attempts. And I keep going back to, listening to Neil Lennon before the game and how calm he was, talking about, it's not a problem. I'm not thinking about the stats and the records, and there's no worry about that. And you get the sense with Neil Lennon that he's such an imposing figure and such a a strong leader that he raises the standards within the team. And they've got, an almighty task ahead of them with regards to being able to potentially get into the playoff final. 2 legs there, Scottish Cup final as well. It would be quite incredible if they were able to get promoted and win the Scottish Cup. But it's the sort of fairy tale story that you wouldn't put past Neil Lennon and his team.
And yet, Mark Wilson has shown himself to be a fantastic manager for Partick Thistle this season. He's got a big half-time team talk. Yeah, he has. But look, likewise in terms of having seen Partick Thistle across the course of the season here, there's been a number of occasions where you feel like Partick Thistle not sure what their plan is, and then Mark Wilson will tweak something. He'll make a sub. Tactically very astute. And you're right, he has got a big 15 minutes in the changing room there to try to galvanise the side again, get a message across with regards to what they're trying to do to impact the game and affect Dunfermline defensively. But you wouldn't put it past them, because you're right, Mark Wilson's done very, very good job in his first year in sole charge here at Partick Thistle. Both sides have had their opportunities in this first half. In the end, Dunfermline Athletic would take theirs. But before that, Michael, they had a few sights of goal. This was a big chance for Callum Morrison. Yeah, we snapshot, and it wasn't far away, was he? The ball in behind, he's got that pace. This is why he's such a threat, and just a little bit too much on it. We're obviously down the other end, and for a split second it looked as if it was going to dip in there. But he's been a real threat. You need to try and get pace into your team, and that is what Callum Morrison's brought to the Dunfermline team. When you look at Todd winning the ball back, that's what he does. He's an absolute pest. And Kane striking it past the post there. Difficult to say from the angles, where the deflection was, but you look at that energy, you look at that desire from the front men to go and win the ball and cause problems for Partick Thistle. And it's been a very, very entertaining first half, I've got to say. Plenty action. That's a big chance, isn't it? Yeah, Kieran and Gwenya at the back post, just off the base of the post, I think. Yeah, it was just off that back post. Huge opportunity, but the goal comes around, I think it was about 35 minutes in the game, and you're thinking at that point it probably just needed a goal to ignite things. What was your analysis of the goal? Great moment from Charlie Gilmore, obviously, but Partick Thistle will look back at this with a bit of anguish, I would imagine. Yeah, there's no doubt they will. It's ultimately Ben McPherson at the back post that just doesn't deal with the ball particularly well. But you can see here opportunities to perhaps try to clear it. They never managed to get out their defensive third, and then eventually this ball gets put into the box. Really good ball, and it's dangerous, but you cannot. Look, I don't need to say anything. Ben McPherson will know himself. I just wonder. There's obviously bodies in front of him. I think he gets caught at the last second. But you cannot go heading the ball into such a dangerous area. But take nothing away from Charlie Gilmore. It's a wonderful strike into the corner. I'm actually just looking at this replay again, and I don't think that is Ben McPherson. Apologies to him that's at the back post. But it's a huge mistake, and it's a really, really good strike there from Charlie Gilmore. Sorry, Ben. We'll find out exactly who it is in a minute. I'm sure somebody will tell us, Michael. But indeed, it was a huge moment in this game, and Billy Tyrrell was a big talking point before the match, coming between the sticks because of Aston Oxborough being recalled by Motherwell, and this was a very assertive moment from him, Michael. Absolutely, and again, obviously this is coming down towards us, and I was just saying to you afterwards, like for the life of me, I can't believe he got there, because it looked as if Samuels was favourite to get there, and he was very convincing. He was no doubt in his mind in terms of he was coming out and dealing with it, and everything that's been asked of him so far, you've got to say he's done very, very well, Billy Tyrrell. And you mentioned it before, he's played enough games. It's not as if he's coming in cold, but still in such a big game, there's always going to be an element of trepidation, not just for him, but for the manager as well, I suppose. It's a big moment from Stanley. It's a great timed run. It's a really good save, as is that. Now, yes, it's close enough to him, but he's got to deal with it. He doesn't palm it into a dangerous area. It's away.
into safety. And this is the only real moment that you would be suggesting that was a little bit nervy.
Yeah. These things happen.
Yes, of course. Yep, these things do happen.
You don't want them to happen.
No, you definitely do
like
not.
This, though.
Definitely do not. And thankfully for him and for Dunfermline, it didn't come to anything.
But it is going to be a fascinating second half, isn't it, Michael?
Yeah, well, I mean, look, it's all or bust now at this stage. For Partick Thistle, you know, I would imagine that the message from Mark Wilson is that they don't want to be giving themselves a mountain to climb. It's only one goal, but they've got to go out and be a little bit more clinical in that final third. It's, as much as there's been pressure and as much as they've had openings, they've never really looked like they were, you know, about to, you know, score a goal.
This isn't the only big playoff match this evening. There is a huge fight on for which side will end up in League One next season. Hamilton Accies are fighting for their League One lives, and Clyde are trying to get into League One. Currently, it's 2-2 on the night, 3-3 on aggregate. I mean, Hamilton Accies, Michael, half-time there, obviously. What a roller coaster story they have been. Not that long ago in the top flight of Scottish football, so much has gone on behind the scenes there. Both those sides have swapped stadiums as well. It's utterly bizarre and actually sounds like a thrilling match.
Yeah, it does. I mean, you've summed it up there perfectly. I mean, there's so much, you know, going on behind the scenes that you can't really quantify how much that's impacted the team on the park as well. The fact that they're at home at Broadwood is a little bit bizarre as well. But, you know, the game is evenly poised there, and, you know, just have to wait and see how it plays out.
It's very Scottish football.
Absolutely, yes.
Speaking of very Scottish football, which side will be in the Championship next season between Stenhousemuir and Alloa Athletic after Wednesday night's first leg of the final? Well, it's very much Stenhousemuir who are in the box seat. Took the lead through Ross Taylor in this match. They've had such a fine season under Gary Naismith. And in the end, they would run out 3-1 winners on the night. Matthew Aitken with the second goal coming up. From the penalty spot, clearly, to make it 2-0. And the Warriors would be in complete control of this tie, as Michael Anderson would make it 3-0. What a strike it was. Late in injury time, Callum Waters would pull a goal back for Alloa Athletic to keep this tie alive as both sides vie for a place in the second tier of Scottish football. But Michael, it does look like Stenhousemuir, who will have home advantage tomorrow night, of course. Do you expect them to be in the Championship?
Well, I mean, look, there's still the second leg to play here, but you're right, they're 3-1 up, they're at home, they're full of belief and confidence because they've had a very, very good campaign in League One. Obviously just pipped by Inverness Kelly Thistle, but a little bit of a strange story there as well. You know, obviously Gary Naismith is going to be away. You know, what's going to happen, what league are they going to be in? You've got to say credit to the players there because they've put in a fine performance in the first leg there.
Okay. Plenty more football on the way. Of course, what an exciting end to the season this is. And there's live football on the telly tomorrow early afternoon. The English FA Cup final, Chelsea versus Man City. That's at 1:15 on BBC One Scotland. Then all the Premiership highlights of an incredible final weekend. Tomorrow night at 7:15 on BBC Scotland, and on Sunday night at 7:15. Also big matches in the SWPL. Hearts could be champions. They take on Glasgow City. That's live on BBC Alpha. Rangers versus Celtic. You can watch that on the iPlayer from 1 o'clock on Sunday. And then a week tomorrow, the Scottish Cup final as Celtic take on Dunfermline Athletic. Join us for live coverage a week tomorrow, 2:15 on BBC One Scotland. And Michael, I think most people would clearly expect Celtic to win that against Dunfermline Athletic. How much chance do you give Neil Lennon's side up against his old side?
Well, it's a tough task, there's no doubt about that, but you know, in the same vein as what we're talking about here with regards to Dunfermline against Partick Thistle and the X factor of the manager, you can't discount them. You know, and if they're going into that on the back of a victory here, getting themselves into playoff finals, I mean, they're going to be as high as a kite. It really is, and depending obviously what happens with the league title tomorrow as well, it's going to have a huge bearing on the teams as they go into this cup final.
Yep, plenty of more football entertainment on the way, plenty more football entertainment on the way tonight, and lots to keep you entertained across the BBC.
When things are not quite going to plan.
So what? You got sacked? This isn't how I saw my life at 40.
And your dad is living at large.
How do I get an aubergine emoji? Well, you wound me up.
I think you're weird.
It's a fair comment.
That's what I've always liked about you.
Please stop doing that. Oh, don't be so dramatic.
Only Child. Watch all episodes on BBC iPlayer.
Hello.
Make yourself comfortable.
This is an awful lot of fuss.
Action.
He was smart, but he was different. I think they absolutely thought I was finished.
I find it hard to talk about myself in that sense.
It's right in the camera. So
yes.
Icons of Football. All episodes now available on iPlayer.
And there is an awful lot of fuss about Scotland's most iconic goal. We're getting to the business end of this competition to try and find the goal that means most to you, the most iconic Scottish goal of all time in terms of the national team. Which goal means the most to you? We're at the semi-final stage, and it really is the big hitters now. James McFadden in Paris up against Scott McTominay versus Denmark.
Brought down by McFadden, he's going for goal! James McFadden scores the best goal he's scored for his country! Absolutely sensational! The top corner is tickled with a ball. Scotland are tickled pink in Paris.
It's a big choice. Use the QR code on the screen to cast your vote, or you can go to the BBC Sport website to do the same. Full terms and conditions are there. It is a big 45 minutes coming up here at Firhill. Time to hand back to James McFadden and Alistair Lamont.
Thanks again, Johners. We expected a close-fought game, and that's what we've had. Chances at either end, big chances at times. But only one has been taken, and that was by Charlie Gilmour. Hammering the ball into the ground and up into the back of the net to give Dunfermline the advantage as Thistle changed things up at half-time with Tony Watt replacing Robbie Crawford. And that will be a slight change of shape, you would imagine. Dunfermline, a mirror image of Partick Thistle's kick-off. It must just be de rigueur these days to just boot the ball out of play straight from kick-off.
Yeah, I mean, it's so they can squeeze one side of the pitch and stop, get a press on early. But yeah, Tony Watt's on up alongside Samuel. Stanley dropping deeper in beside Smith. 4-4-2 against 4-4-2.
Morrison's obviously recovered from whatever was ailing him during the first half. He's back out for the second period.
Maybe just a little kick or a knock on his foot.
That's Watt hooking it on. Fraser putting it back to his goalkeeper. It's not a great kick out, but picked up by McPherson. Here's a mark from Smith. Time to measure that cross, but it's well met by Kearney. Reading though directs it back out to Fitzpatrick. Just looking to strike early in this Second half, Chillicothe comes it behind. Thistle fans get behind their side. Putting some good balls in that first half from corner kicks. Let's see what he can do here. Flicks that one up. Ashcroft, something on it. Watt now. Low ball in, not a great ball. Take the throw in this time. Smith back out to McPherson. Taken off him by Fraser and then Morrison. Through to Kane. Morrison will try and get back onto that, but Redding's there to cut it out. Terrell under pressure, deals with that one well. Thistle keeping Dunfermline hemmed in at the moment though. It's poor distribution from Smith. Fortunate to get another bite at it. Ashcroft now into Samuel, looking to help into the path of Stanley, can't do so. Again, Thistle pick up the loose ball though. Now with Fitzpatrick. There's Watt. It's a good start to the second half. Thistle capitalise on it.
Tony Watt's going to cause a different problem because he is playing up beside Alex Samuel at times, but he's looking to drop in and he's finding space. And that's going to be an issue for Gilmer and Ahmad. Also Chillicothe, Mullen and Gwenya. Going to have to sort that out amongst them.
Yeah, it's interesting because first half we talked about Smith, he had the space kind of in front of the Thistle defence. Now that he's playing alongside Stanley, but you're talking about Watt dropping off the front and he's picking that pocket space in there.
Yeah, I mean, it's just an issue about who picks Tony Watt up. Is it going to be one of the midfielders? Smith is going to operate deeper. It's naturally what he does. Stanley is starting alongside him, but we know his energy, we know he'll get forward. It's just that, you know, the space that, as much as Tony Watt won't always be on the ball, but the sheer presence will cause problems.
And here he is, slipping it through, and it is Smith. Good stop from Terrell. That's going to be a pass back, and Terrell, oh, he's giving it straight to Chalmers. Oh, calamity in the Dunfermline defence, and Logan Chalmers the beneficiary, and Thistle are level, having made a good stop. He was caught in two minds, made a poor clearance, and it fell to Logan Chalmers, and he did the rest.
Oh, the chance comes from Tony Watt, picking up the ball, driving forward, lovely little pass, and you have to say Terrell does brilliantly initially with the save, but then, yeah, I mean, he just gets confused, Terrell. He makes the right decision, and it's just a wrong execution on the clearance, but Tony Watt getting involved straight away. And Shane Smith is the one that's driving forward. I said he would sit, and that was wrong, but what bit of fortune, but Logan Chalmers a decent finish, empty net, but still has to put it away.
You've got a feel for Billy Terrell there. Having made that good save to deny Smith, and then forced to think quickly when Ahmad put the ball down. Here's Morrison! Whoa, that could not have been too far away. What a hit that was.
I thought it was in.
I thought it was in.
It's at the post behind the goal. It's great link-up play. Morrison off the left, into the feet of Kane. I thought it was in. He's caught it so well. Just a little big response from Dunfermline. Morrison on this left-hand side now. Matty Todd on the right.
Fraser now. Kane jostling away there. He's going to break for Morrison. Looking to take on McPherson for speed. McPherson sticks with him and concedes the corner. End to end again.
Yeah, it's open now. And it's a good response from Dunfermline, because Partick Thistle came out really strong at the beginning of the half.
Matty Todd here over the dead ball. Towards the back post. Oh, that's a bad head knock. So Ashcroft and O'Reilly have gone down.
That was a heavy collision.
Lee Ashcroft saying, go and see to Dan O'Reilly first. He does look like he's come off worse. Lee Ashcroft, as we know, is a total warrior. Both players just entirely committed there, just so desperate to make the clearance.
Yeah. It's front of Ashcroft's head into the side of O'Reilly's, and that's why it looks like O'Reilly's the one to come off worse.
Dan O'Reilly missed the game against Ayr United in the playoff last season, having to go off injured. Thistle will hope he doesn't have to go off injured here, but it was a thunderous head clash, and Thistle medics will have to take the right decision here. Let's have another look at the equaliser. Could Ahmad do more here, James? As he doesn't do his keeper any favours really, or is it just instinctive?
Yeah, I actually think he's potentially taking a touch to turn and play it, and it drops it, Terrell, and I understand his reaction to go and pick it up. I think he does really well initially not to pick it up, but then the panic sets in because he can see the bodies around him and just doesn't get the clearance. It's a gift for Logan Chalmers.
Well, good to see Dan O'Reilly walking off, and I think the indications are that he's going to come back on.
Yeah, he's not the first player to take a second prize off at Lee Ashcroft, that's for sure.
Ashcroft again putting his head in. Morrison does well, evading the challenge of Watt there. Fraser looking for Andrew Todd. There's O'Reilly back on, firing that forward for Samuel to chase. Cross comes Chillicor Mullen, good challenge. Logan Chalmers, the third Thistle player to reach 12 goals for the season, along with Samuel and Stanway. Watt just a goal behind them. Good spread across the team. And they're looking to add more here as Fitzpatrick. It's the cut back, but Kearney's in the way. to Andrew Todd. The referee eventually giving the free kick the way of Dunfermline. It's Andrew Todd held on to possession.
It's simple, but you know, such a good brain, Andrew Todd. Technically he's very good, but you know, backing in, waiting for the right moment, knowing that it's not on to go and play it. Doesn't mind the physical side either.
Well, remember, extra time and penalties are a possibility here tonight. Certainly if the scoreline stays the way it is. Points separated these sides over the course of the season, but very little to choose between them over the two legs. Ahmad doing well, keeps the ball for Dunfermline. Here's Morrison. Fraser busting a gut to get up alongside him. Morrison uses him as a decoy, gets the ball in, comes out to Ahmad. Now Gilmore. Kane in there looking interested, and it's swiped behind for a corner by O'Reilly.
Does well, Andrew Todd, to get the ball in, but O'Reilly in a good position. Okay, it's not the clearance he's looking for, but he's making sure that Chris Kane doesn't get on the end of it.
Matty Todd with the outswinger this time with the right foot. Just over Nguenya. Todd will gather. All the way back to Fraser, who first time plays it back up towards the edge of the penalty area. O'Reilly clear, Nguenya back into the danger area, but Kane can only flick it through for Clark to gather. Dunfermline preparing a couple of changes. The ball almost comes through for Fitzpatrick there. Terrell deals with that one efficiently enough. McPherson takes it off Morrison, who was claiming he was being dragged to the ground. Watt now, out to Chalmers. Picks out the cross, comes back for Tony Watts, who, well, that's going to stay in play. It's going to go out for a throw-in the end. Wild slice from Tony Watt.
Yeah, not a great finish, but Samuel again backing in, using his strength. It's just a wild swipe, you're right, from Tony Watt. Nothing worse when one of your shots goes out for a throw-in.
Chris Kane again being replaced by young Lucas Fife, who's just signed a new 2-year deal with the club. The teenager. And Nuruddin Abdullahi also coming on. So I beg your pardon, it's Josh Cooper that's come on for Chris Kane. Abdullahi replaces Ahmad in the midfield. It looks like Dan O'Reilly might have played his last part in this game. There's absolutely no point in taking any chances after a head knock. And Keil Lochray will come on at centre back instead. Dan O'Reilly not keen to go off, but it looks like the right decision.
That was without doubt the right decision, Al. That was a heavy blow he took to the side of the head. I'm surprised he actually got up and get back on. Understandably, the type of character he is, that he wants to go and play on, but it's the correct decision to withdraw him from the game.
Robs Samuel, powers forward. Now it's Todd. Just couldn't link with Andrew Todd. It's played forward and now Watt feeds it for Chalmers. Chalmers is in for his second of the night. Just wide. Big chance passed up this time by Chalmers.
It's excellent again from Tony Watt, getting on the turn. Weight of pass is excellent. Logan Chalmers, for me, has to do better. I think he takes a poor first touch, which doesn't help the angle. He wants that on his left foot. I think he can get it on his left. I know Nguyen's coming back at him, but that touch there just takes it outside his body onto his right. He then goes to try and chip Tyrrell and goal. That is a huge opportunity for Thistle. Tony Watt at the heart of it again.
So intelligent, isn't he, the way he picks these passes. Cooper's done well. Got the better of McPherson. McPherson recovers. And he'll get the free kick as well.
Good recovery from Ben McPherson, because the slip allowed Cooper in. I thought that actually, when it comes to him initially, Cooper, he should deliver it first time, but he takes a touch, allows McPherson the opportunity to get back, and he does really well to win the ball back, get the foul for his team.
8,044 inside Firhill for this one. An incredible attendance for these two championship sides, but it's testament to what they've achieved over the course of the season and what they aim to achieve before it's finished. Andrew Todd, big switch of play for Matty Todd. Tries to link there with Cooper. Chillicothe Mullen there. Just in terms of Kane being presumably, Neil Lennon feels he's given him as much as he can give, but he's a loss once he goes off, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. His physicality is certainly a loss, but you know, you have to say, I think Ashcroft and O'Reilly, when he was on, had done well against him, and maybe just a freshness. Expecting maybe Andrew Todd to be that more physical side, Cooper up alongside him. But yeah, he is a big loss. He's been a huge player, stepped up for Dunfermline for the run-in. But he's played a lot of football as well, and maybe, you know, it's just tired legs and trying to get a bit of freshness into the side. Interestingly, Matty Todd's back over on this left-hand side, a couple of occasions. Callum Morrison, of course, comes inside and gets a shot with his right. A couple of times maybe could have gone down the left-hand side or played in. Robbie Fraser on the overlap. Maybe feels that Matty Todd is, we've seen it, more than capable of going onto that left foot, whipping crosses in as well as coming inside and link the player, getting shots away.
It's a terrible throw-in. This will get possession through Watt. Reading to Fitzpatrick. We'll try and thread that pass for Alex Samuel. Good goalkeeping, Tyrrell. And he gathers it at the second opportunity. He did really well there, the young keeper, and he's picked out Fraser here. And now Todd up against McPherson, past him but not past Logan Chalmers, who feeds it forward for Tony Watt. Apologies if there's any fruity language coming through our microphones. I've told you about that before, James. I know it's exciting. Sorry. Yeah, passion's certainly high. 3/4 of the way through the game. Tyrrell certainly thwarting Alex Samuel just a moment or two ago.
Yeah, it's good goalkeeping, brave as well. Really good pass from Aidan Fitzpatrick.
Smith's taking it off Gilmore, and Thistle have bodies forward, and it's a good pick out for Chalmers. Early ball in, and turned behind by Kearney. Good defending.
It is, and it's a really good cross. Alex Samuel, I think, is trying to make up the ground. He's in there, just waiting. He's expecting Chalmers to take a touch. See him here, telling him to take a touch, but I think it's the right option from Chalmers. Really good cross. Samuel has to go and gamble there for me.
Fitzpatrick with a corner, near post ball. Abdullahi wins it. Stanway returns it. Abdullahi once more. Paddy Redding. No chances being taken. Back to Clark. No one there for Thistle. Todd and Ashcroft renewing acquaintances.
Again, good strength from Andrew Todd, speaking about him. Doesn't mind that physical side. Ashcroft just get the ball off him.
Free kick doesn't find its target. I would be happier than he was at half time. But it's still very much on a knife edge.
He's had the response he's been looking for in the second half. The goal. Big chance well for Logan Chalmers. But it's back to being even.
Gilmore looks for Morrison. Redding wins the header, but it'll be picked up by Todd. Challenged by Lockery. There's Morrison now. Just too close to George Clark. Launched forward by Clark. It's over in Gwenya. Samuel here tussling with Chillico Mullen. Who will get the break of the ball? Well, the referee has given that in Dunfermline's favour. I'm not sure what he's seen there, James.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. And Gwenya gets it wrong, misjudges it. Samuel just backs in. Yeah, well there it's there. It's a little shot pull. You've got the assistant referee on this side here who's probably told the referee about the shirt pull. So spot on for the ref.
Was the initial challenge not a free kick the other way, potentially? Was that just a bit of 50-50?
Yeah, I think 50-50. Alex Samuel gets his body across, gets his arm across. Chillico Mullen, I think, just falls down, and it is more of a coming together. I think without the shirt pull, then it's play on.
Ben McPherson's going to be replaced here by Cammy Logan, as he was at East End Park. Like for like swap.
See, a few minutes ago, Mark Wilson asking one of his players if they were okay. It's clearly Ben McPherson. And with that change, and swap Morrison, Todd over once again.
Yeah, well, Ben McPherson had missed a couple before the first leg, and so maybe still feeling something slightly. Cammy Logan comes on for the third game in a row. Well, it could boil down to one bit of class, one bit of genius, one mistake to decide this one now into the closing 20 minutes.
Hopefully it's a genius out. I never like to see a mistake deciding a game.
Fraser for Cooper, just couldn't quite get round Ashcroft there. Chalmers picks up here. Looks to bring in Logan. And Gwenya thought about coming, then retreated. It's Tony Watt up against Abdullah, he gets it across goal. Chalmers, oh, it's Chillicoe Mullen in the way. That was net bound from Chalmers. Great intervention, not for the first time from Chillicoe Mullen.
Yeah, absolutely. Great again from Tony Watt. Just to free himself up, and he catches this really well on the right foot. Logan Chalmers. Chillicoe Mullen down the line of it, and it looked like it was Nestling in the side netting.
Watt's made a real difference, though, hasn't he? Yeah. He's coming on.
He has, and it's no surprise.
Here's a corner from Fitzpatrick, and Gwenya meets it with a header. Stanley's done well up against Morrison. Flicked on by Watt. Chillicoe Mullen there again. Watt will get it back though. Stanley steps in. Some half-hearted claims in the stands here for a penalty, but referee's certainly not interested. Stanley's still down. As Logan clips it back through. Samuel could be in here. Samuel! Alex Samuel has headed Partick Thistle in front for the first time in this playoff semi-final. And could that be the decisive blow? Dunfermline complaining because Ben Stanley was down and arguably was making it awkward for Dunfermline to defend. Alex Samuel wasn't hanging about and celebrating the recent birth of his baby with that goal.
Yeah, they can complain all they want, but you play to the whistle. Ben Stanley is down, but you have to go on with it. And you said, a bit of magic, and that's exactly what it is. The timing of the run, the pass, the weight of the pass, and the most important part, the finish from Alex Samuel. It's a tremendous header. A really good goal from Thistle's point of view. Dunfermline, you have to play to the whistle. Can't be looking for excuses here. Get tight on the pass. Match your man. You don't do that. Alex Samuel capitalises on it.
Well, he's going to have to work some magic in the closing quarter of an hour to get his side back into this. Thistle leading by 3-2 on aggregate now. And the home fans sound their appreciation for the goal scorer. Alex Samuel, Thistle's top scorer this season on 13 now.
And they finished strong on Tuesday night. You expect a strong finish once again from Partick Thistle. They have all the momentum. It's rocking in here.
Dunfermline making a couple of changes here. As Matty Todd goes off, John Todd comes on. It's just the one change for the moment.
Back to the more familiar back three. Morrison and Andrew Todd up front. Robbie Fraser left wing back here and the right wing back.
Said pre-match he's made a habit of scoring against Dunfermline. Got a double here to win it last time. He also came on to score in the 2-2 at East End Park, and he might well have got the winning goal here in the playoff semi, but Dunfermline something to say about that. Abdullahi penalised there, and Thistle get the free kick.
It's Alex Samuel once again, just getting his body in. His name's been sung around this stadium, obviously because of the goal, but he just never stops, does he? Such a handful.
Firing it forward. Ashcroft cuts out the danger. Dunfermline will get a free kick. And that'll give them the opportunity to throw a few bodies forward as they now look for the equaliser.
It's not a great free kick to give away. It's a dangerous area.
Well, he wanted to take that one quickly, but as he did earlier, the referee is making a point. You have to wait for the whistle. Robbie Fraser will swing this one in. Dunfermline, the side now, looking to get themselves level. Can they do so here? It's away by Thistle back line, and then Fraser closed down. Ten to play, plus whatever's added. And Thistle get themselves back into the playoff final. Remember they reached it back in 2023 when it looked for all the world like they were going up. But for Ross County's incredible comeback and ultimate victory on penalties, that will still hurt some here at Firhill. But they could make amends this season. Oh, Tony Watt's done brilliantly there up against Nguyen. Good strength. Finds Stanway. Stanway's misplaced the pass though. He's not either himself.
It's a simple one for Ben Stanley. Tony Watt's, I mean, second favourite, if that. But he just uses his experience and his strength to make sure he gets a ball. Stanley is normally so much better than that.
Offside flag up against Andrew Todd. Still, you would be foolish to write Dunfermline off, regardless of time running out. Well, there's still just a goal in it. Ashcroft puts his head to it, and then Morrison with a little nudge there on Logan. Frustration building in the Dunfermline ranks.
Yeah, I mean, you would be foolish to write them off, but not offered enough going forward. Dunfermline in the second half, and you're seeing a bit of frustration to make sure they don't get desperate, keep giving away little fouls, stopping the game. It suits Partick Thistle if that's the case. But all it takes is one chance.
Ashcroft fires it forward. Samuel again looking to cause problems, but Dunfermline have picked up. Todd caught there. Yeah, referee, that's going to bring out a yellow card. So the challenge by Lockery.
He knows it's coming, Andrew Todd, as the ball comes to him, just trying to flick that round. Lockery knows exactly what's happening.
There's going to be a change for Dunfermline. Shea Kearney is the man to make way. Now Lucas Fife will make his entrance. As I say, having signed that new 2-year deal, we've broken into the first team in the last few weeks. He's got his chance here to make himself a massive hero already.
The two big opportunities in the semi-final, so he knows how to get himself into position to cause problems. A more recognised striker up there, despite his age.
Morrison's going out to play that wing-back role. I expect he'll be more of a winger than a full-back. As Dunfermline look to try and apply the pressure in these closing stages, but time is against them. Here's Chalmers up against John Todd. Good skill from Chalmers. Away from Abdullahi as well. He's going to take the shot on, but couldn't really get the purchase in it. Ultimately to really trouble Tyrrell.
It's a brilliant run from Logan Chalmers. He was running out of players to nutmeg there in the way in, and his shot, it's not enough to bother him, but he creates the opening all by himself.
It's well played by Logan, but Fraser's there to pick up for Dunfermline. Here's once more. Good ball for Todd. Try to get that out to Morrison, right hand side, but it's cut out. Logan under pressure here. Just digs out the clearance. Gwenya into the feet of Todd. Can't find a teammate though. Samuel has been dragged to the ground by Todd, not in the view of the referee. Here's Morrison. Manages to get the cross in. Ashcroft wins the header. Cooper has it taken off him by Watt. Stanway gets it up to Samuel, trying to flick it into the path here of Fitzpatrick. Brilliant defending by John Todd there, because Thistle were potentially clear if he hadn't intervened.
He does so well, John Todd. He's having to fight with Alex Samuel and then pick up the loose ball, which he does brilliantly.
Time is of the essence here for Dunfermline. What can they manufacture? Gilmore's desperate to get the ball short off Gwenya. Thistle making it tough for them, but that's a good ball forward in the end for Fife. Just trying to feed it through for Cooper. Ashcroft taking no chances. I feel that Dunfermline have it within them to create one more decent opportunity. The question will be, can they take it? That's come off Fife. And his reaction tells you it's a goal kick. Looking more and more like Partick Thistle's stranglehold over this fixture is going to continue. Unless Dunfermline can come up with something ultra dramatic. Good play again by John Todd. Good feet for a central defender. Finds brother Andrew, and now Morrison. And that's flicked back by Fife, but just wouldn't fall for a Dunfermline teammate.
I mean, they've defended it well, Thistle, when it's come into the box. Really had many opportunities, Dunfermline.
Here's Abdullahi and Nguenia. Fraser's ball in, way by Logan. Flies into the challenge. Thistle ball. Well, Sosa is going to come on just to try and see this out. As Aidan Fitzpatrick makes way. Fourth official about to flash the board. He says we have 5 additional minutes to play. 5 minutes for Thistle to see this out. 5 minutes for Dunfermline to get themselves back into it. There's John Todd driving his side forward. Needs to find an outlet. He does so in Fraser. Sends the ball to the back post. Come all the way for Morrison. And now Cooper. That's wasteful.
Yeah, I mean, it's great from John Todd initially, fending off 3 Thistle defenders. And he just doesn't catch it. He wants to Cooper. It's ambitious to say the least, but it's coming to the stage where it's desperation now for Dunfermline.
Wins a header, and again referee stopped the game for a head knock there on Stanway. also on the floor.
I think he catches an arm in the face. John Todd up there.
I think it's the boot, isn't it? It's the boot as he comes down. It looked completely accidental from John Todd.
Yeah. Well, he's playing up front now. Todd are throwing everything at it now, Dunfermline.
Yeah, they've got it. Fife gets it out to Morrison. And that's Chillicothe Mullen trying to send it in, but it's not a good ball. And Tony Watt will try and break. And he'll absolutely take that free kick all day long, as Abdullah goes in the book. That won't worry Tony Watt one jot being fouled there.
That's the player that Thistle want on the ball when it breaks like that, because he does have options, but he knows get across Abdullah. It brings you down, great, stop the game. He's had some impact in this second half, Tony Watt.
Has he had sufficient impact for you to name him as your man of the match?
He was certainly in the running, but I think it's hard to ignore that it looks like it's going to be the match winner. And Alex Samuel.
Still time for a Dunfermline player to change my mind now. So that's not your categorical choice yet, is it? I know you like to leave it as late as possible. Josh Clark not standing in the front ceremony there as he fires it out of play in the Dunfermline half. Just over a minute left of added on time. Partick Thistle closing in on their second playoff final in the past 3 years. Hoping it's fifth time lucky in the playoffs.
I mean, he is frustrated because he's up clean, Abdullah, but his arm catches Stanley in the face.
So can we confirm Alex Samuel is your man of the match, James?
Yes, we can. I think that he's...
Tony Watt bringing down Robbie Fraser there.
That's what swayed it for me. If he hadn't made that foul, then he maybe have got it, Tony Watt. But like, Tony Watt's had a huge impact in the game, absolutely undoubtedly. But Alex Samuel, he's fought, scrapped, he's back 10, he's tried to get his team up the pitch, and he's come up with a moment that's mattered in typical fashion.
Tony Watt pretty fortunate not to go in the boot for that challenge, but it pretty much brings about Dunfermline's last opportunity. As Tyrrell launches it long, Ashcroft wins the header. Todd works it out to Morrison. Is this the moment for Dunfermline? And it comes over everyone. There's the final whistle. Thistle are through to the final, having come from behind, and that man, Alex Samuel, comes up with a huge moment in the match, the winning goal. Logan Chalmers with an early second half equaliser, and Samuel sends Thistle into the final against St Mirren. The first leg back here next Thursday, and they will once again have the opportunity to end their 8-year absence now. Mark Wilson guiding his side into that playoff final once more. And this time they'll be hoping to make it count. It's been a fabulous couple of games. Dunfermline giving so much to it, and it looked for a while as though Charlie Gilmore's goal might be the crucial one as they moved ahead in the tie. But Thistle turned it round. Tony Watt was a massive influence in that second half. The change made by Mark Wilson at the interval paying dividends as Watt fed Chalmers for the equaliser, and just generally played a massive role. Billy Tyrrell, unfortunate for his part in that equaliser, came up with some big saves as well. can analyse how much Aston Oxborough's absence played in that Dunfermline defeat. But there were some huge performances from Partick Thistle tonight. And they take their place in the playoff final against St Mirren. The St Mirren side who beat them in the Scottish Cup at the Smythe Stadium, but there wasn't that much in it. Remember, Oisin Smith and Fraser Taylor will be ineligible for Partick Thistle in that playoff final. But they have a strong squad now, and they will feel they have the players who can go and contest that final with St Mirren and go all the way this time. It's smiles all round for the Jacks this evening as it finishes. Partick Thistle 2, Dunfermline 1, 3-2 on aggregate.
Huge congratulations to Partick Thistle. They are in the Premiership playoff final. The first leg is on Thursday next week. The second leg a week on Monday. Commiserations to Dunfermline Athletic. You can see the disappointment on the faces of all of those players and everyone involved with the Pars. A painful night, but they do have the Scottish Cup final still to look forward to a week tomorrow. Scenes of jubilation for the home faithful here at Firhill. Michael Stewart with me. Michael, what an incredible comeback from Partick Thistle.
Absolutely. You know, we were talking about it at half-time and how it was going to be such a big 15 minutes for Mark Wilson. Also, you know, looking back at the season as a whole and recognising that the manager's done very well at times when they look like they've been second best. He's made changes, he's adjusted and adapted the team, and he did it again. And you've got to say, in the second half, it was relentless from Partick Thistle. They were a changed side completely. You know, getting Tony Watt getting 2 up the top of the park, it made a huge difference. They looked very threatening in that second half, and I think, you know, over the course of the 90 minutes, you've got to say that I think it's fair that Partick Thistle are the ones that have come out on top.
It's quite incredible how these stories always develop in the Premiership playoff matches, and how many times have we been here at Firhill over the years where the atmosphere has been electric and the story is swung this way and that. And Partick Thistle, well, we all know about their pain and anguish in these playoff matches as well. 3 years ago in the playoff final against Ross County, that truly swung this way and that, and in the end wasn't in their favour. Alex Samuel on that day, a Ross County player.
Yeah, and you know, we were talking before the game about Alex Samuel, and obviously Ian Barraclough was mentioning that a guy that they brought in the summer, and he's added goals to his game. You know, he's always been a pest. You know, a guy that you can imagine defenders don't want to play against. He's very hard-working, physically strong, but adding some more goals to his game, and big goals as well. And there's none bigger than the one that he's obviously scored here tonight. Has really propelled them to being a bit of a talisman and a figurehead for this Partick Thistle side. So it's congratulations to them. It's onwards and upwards, and they'll be dreaming of perhaps being able to get over the finish line next week, and a week on Monday as well.
And we see Tony Watt disappearing down the tunnel. What a difference he made in this match. What a huge, huge player he was in that second half. But I'm delighted to say we are now joined by 2 huge players who have made all the difference this evening for Partick Thistle, Logan Chalmers and Alex Samuel. Congratulations, guys. What an incredible comeback. Logan, if I can come to you first, you would obviously get the first goal in the comeback. What does this feel like for you right now?
No, it's mad. You know, we knew we didn't start the first half well. That was the message in there. We knew we still had levels to go, and we knew that if we got 1 goal, we probably would go on. We believed that we'd go on and get the winner. So, no, buzzing to do that.
And Alex, you got the vital goal there that turns out to be the winner. Describe to me your emotions right now.
Oh, just amazing. How about my assist as well off the stomach to Logan as well? But no, absolutely incredible. This is what nights are about. These nights are just incredible for the club, for everyone. It's just a credit to what we've done this season and achieved. So, again, it's not over. Got a final to look forward to, but we're going to enjoy it tonight.
and we get a chance now to see that fabulous assist. Let's have a look at your goal, Logan. You can talk us through it. This is the treat you get for joining us. Thanks very much for doing so, but talk us through it. You probably didn't expect it. It was a bit of a strange situation, to say the least.
No, that's the thing. The gaffer's been on at me all season about, you know, getting in, not just at the back post, but getting around the penalty spot area and stuff as well. So you never know where the ball's going to end up. And, you know, luckily there it's falling for an open goal and buzzing.
I just wanted to ask you guys, obviously at half-time you've mentioned there that you were fully aware that the first half in particular, you know, not good enough. What was the manager saying? And obviously he's made a change, he's brought on Tony Watt at half-time as well. What was his message? What was he expecting from you?
You know, the season that we've had, we don't want to go out, you know, on something like that, a first half performance like that. You've been really good at home this season, so it was just a clear message of, you know, up it in the second half and go on, get the first goal early, and then go on and win the game.
Yeah, it was about just, I think we were a bit slow at the back first half, a bit predictable. So Gaffer just said, look, get Tony on. What a difference Tony Watt made as well. And again, just be a bit more direct and put into areas that they don't like. And I think we did that really well. And I think it caused the 2 goals as well. So
let's have a look at your golden moment, Alex. It was a slightly strange situation as well, because Ben Stanway was down in the box at the time, but you guys kept playing, and it was clearly the right thing to do.
Yeah, no, like I said, it kind of felt like the game stopped a little bit, but again, Cammy Logan coming on made an amazing impact as well. Like you see, he gets it here and in a little bit, but he put such a great ball. And we were actually talking about this actually. If he came on, he was just going to find me, and it was what a ball that is, and managed just to kind of get a flick over the goalie, and I kind of saw the goalie at the corner of my eye, so I thought I'm going to just try and lift it over, and seeing it hit the back of the net was amazing.
It's not the easiest when you're fully stretched like that to really get the purchase on it, but again, I'm just wanting to get a feeling for, you've played up front on your own.
Yeah.
Tony's obviously played on his own as well. The two of you playing up top. Is there any preference for you, or what did you feel the difference in the second half with having him alongside you?
I think what was happening first half, ball was coming up, but they were kind of getting on the second. And again, the 2 centre halves for them, they did really well. They're good. They're a really good partnership. So just to kind of occupy the other centre half, create a bit more space, and I think a bit more carnage, and that's kind of what happened. And like I said, Tony Watt made an amazing impression on the game when he came on.
Logan, there was lots that happened in this match. We're going to have a look at a few of the opportunities as well. I mean, you had a few sights of goal throughout the match.
Should have scored this one. Just thought, you know, lift the goal. It was similar to the Oceans one, you know, he's tried to dink the goal and he just didn't catch it, didn't get enough on it. And I think it's the same there, you know, but again, I'm getting into the right areas, and, you know, I'm creating chances for myself, so thankfully one of them came off tonight.
You said that the manager had been telling you to, you know...
I think that was going in.
I was just going to say, you've been saying that the manager had been telling you to get into those areas.
Yeah.
What was the fact that left-footed, coming off that right-hand side, it's almost a natural position for you to start to angle yourself in towards, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. I think that's been the message all season. You know, we've had Joy out wide this year. Obviously, different formations, 4-3-3, 4-4-2, like you say, and I think we got the players in Al and Tony to be a handful up there as a 2. And then obviously the main thing is just getting the ball wide and us being positive.
Guys, just before we let you go back into the dressing room and celebrate with your teammates, how confident are you you can get the better of St Mirren? You obviously played them in the Scottish Cup quarterfinals. It was a tight match.
Yeah, no, I think we have to be positive. You know, I think we have to go in again believing that we can win the game. We got the tie at home. We've obviously been really good at home this season, so yeah, hopefully get off on the right foot and hopefully we beat them. Yeah.
And Alex, you are the Premiership playoff semi-final, second leg. Man of the match.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Guys, thanks very much for joining us. We will see you very soon. Logan, thank you very much. Alex, thanks very much.
Now with the one hand around.
Cheers, mate. Yes, indeed. He's got a few of those awards in recent times, and yeah, they will be absolutely buzzing right now, Michael, and they will go into the final on cloud 9.
Oh, absolutely. I'm just very impressed with your long-winded award there. The Premiership playoff.
It's a bit of a mouth. I can barely remember all the words I need to string together. I think I got there in the end.
I think you did very well. Of course they're going to be going in full of belief and confidence. And look, you think about for the side that finishes second here, you think that obviously it's the best opportunity of the Championship teams. They're not going to play the first round. But for Partick Thistle, the disappointment is clearly there because they were close. I know it drifted slightly at the end, but there's a certain degree of despondency that they've not been able to get the trophy. So to be able to come in and win what was a very tight game is going to be important, I would think, to get them ready and building up towards this playoff final against St Mirren.
Let's talk a little bit about Dunfermline Athletic, because they gave plenty in terms of this match this evening. Lots of opportunities, one of which they took, Michael, and it has been a great end to the season from Neil Lennon's side. How grieved should they feel in terms of these opportunities? Because this one, you kind of feel like Callum Morrison could have got it on target.
Yeah, I mean, he could have. There's no doubt. I mean, it's not a bad strike. It's just, as we mentioned before, it's not dipped quick enough. But look, I think ultimately for Dunfermline, and I would imagine if you speak to the Pars fans, that they're feeling disappointed at the night, but overall they're positive of where this club is going. It's been a big turnaround, a huge turnaround in a short period of time. They're in the Scottish Cup final, and realistically, if they were in the playoff final as well, it would probably have been a step too far, and one affecting the other.
Yeah.
So as much as they would obviously want to be getting up to the Premiership, probably having that focus on the cup final alone may well do them the world of good, I would think.
And you have to imagine
here's your favourite friend, Jonathan.
We are good friends. It's all just pantomime, Michael. He doesn't really hate me. Do you, Mark?
I love you, mate.
Thanks, just wanted to confirm that. Congratulations, Mark. That must feel pretty good.
Of course it does. We certainly didn't want our season to go out in a whimper, and I thought at half-time I was in danger of that, if I'm honest. I thought the first leg we managed the game quite well, and coming away from that first leg, we finished really strong, and I thought it was important that we get a good start here and show real energy. And if I'm honest, I thought Dunfermline started the stronger and really pinned us back, and we lose an absolute dreadful goal. So, you have to make tough decisions at half-time, and brought Tony on, and he certainly made the difference.
I was going to talk about half-time because we were talking about it at half-time ourselves. It was a huge 15 minutes for you, we felt like, in terms of what is obviously a huge, huge match. And what was your message to the players? Obviously, you made the bold decision about putting Tony Watt on, and it was clearly the right decision because it made such a difference in the second half.
Well, we just weren't playing through quick enough. We were quite ponderous with our build, and look, I like my teams to build, but it has to have a purpose, and we weren't getting through that Dunfermline 4 to find our spare man, Ocean Smith, in the middle of the pitch. So it just becomes redundant then, having a spare man in the middle of the pitch, and you'd be as well just putting one further up the pitch. So that was a message. Look, really harsh on Robbie Crawford because he's been terrific for us, and that's not easy for any player, but like, it's for the good of the team. And I thought right away you'd just seen a spark and energy, and Tony on the turn right away, and we get in, and we were off and running, and like, the goals might be a wee bit fortuitous, but I thought we put more pressure on Dunfermline, and just with the two front men. I mean, I believe we've got two of the best front men in this division, and Alex didn't start the first game, came on for half an hour. Tony had to take his turn, and of course no striker's happy sitting on the bench, but when they come on at half time you need a reaction, and what a reaction from him.
Mark, I was wanting to ask you, obviously we were talking to Ian Barraclough before the game, and Alex Simon was spoken about, he's not been a prolific goal scorer, but he's improved that this season. Is there anything specifically that you've been trying to get across to him that has helped in that regard? He's always been, his work rate is up there, but the goals, and big goals as well.
I think just positioning and being just really clear. You know what it's like, you as a player, you want the message to be as clear as possible, where your coaching team want you when the ball's in wide areas. And we're lucky enough that we've got two good wingers and full-backs and midfielders who can get into the wee half spaces and create for us. It's just about pinpointing where to be. And I think more often than not, he's been in around the box. But you're right, his work rate is just tremendous. And as I say, I'm fortunate that we recruited well. I thought we would need two strong front men to get out this division, and it's proved the case. And it gives me a headache for the final coming up.
Just play them both.
Well, I know.
You've got a brilliant end to the season here, Mark. The first leg is on Thursday against St Mirren, the week on Monday, the second leg. You go into it with a spring in your step, obviously. You played them in the Scottish Cup quarter-finals. It was a tight match. How confident are you can get the better of them?
Well, the way we've approached this season, there's a real strength about us. But I think coming into these playoffs and the last few games of the league season, we knew we'd secure second place, so we decided to rotate, rest, and I think it's proved the wise decision tonight. I mean, it was getting pinned when I gave the boys the equivalent of a long weekend off before this Dunfermline game. I think people thought we were on an 18 to 30s in a way and came after playing straight for Edinburgh Airport. I mean, it was ridiculous, some of the attention that got, but proved the right call tonight. Look, St Mirren were a good side when we played them in the Cup, and I thought we were really impressive, and we just didn't quite get that equaliser. We're confident in the way we do things. Who knows how the game plays out? You know, there's real strength in that St Mirren side, but I mean, I wouldn't want the players just now. We're going one way, and it's your job to keep that going.
Strange one slightly, I suppose, with Oisin Smith and Fraser Taylor unavailable for you. How much of a blow is that for you?
Oh, without doubt. I mean, they've been quality players for us. In Oisin, you can see a real Rolls Royce at this level and dictates the tempo of the game and real quality. So, of course, he's going to be a huge miss. Fraser as well came in, was injured, but he's got so much quality. So, look, we knew that was going to be the case. So we just need to adapt. We knew it was going to be the case in the Cup game as well. And it's up to us to find the solutions.
Mark, thank you very much for joining us. We will let you go and celebrate with your players tonight. And good luck next week.
Cheers, guys. Thanks
very much, Mark. And yeah, a wonderful moment for Partick Thistle, Michael.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, at this stage, obviously you can get the sense and you can see it from the manager there that he's delighted. You know, he was clearly a little bit concerned at half time. He's got the reaction. He's made the change. It's been a positive one, and you know that statement at the end there as well is quite telling, quite pointed. You wouldn't fancy playing us. So it's a confident manager there, and you can understand why. They're in a good place at the moment, Partick Thistle.
He has gone now, though, so who are you going to put as favourites, Michael?
Well, I'm just wondering whether he's going to take Oisin Smith's phone off him. No communication with St Mirren. I mean, look, who would I make favourites for this? Look, I think St Mirren clearly playing good football, but the results haven't been there up until the result last week. I think the first goal, you know, in any of these games is huge, but even more so in the game coming up here on Thursday, because it feels like St Mirren are still a little bit fragile psychologically. And if Partick Thistle get the first goal here, it could be a very, very tough night for St Mirren.
And just briefly, Michael, in terms of Dunfermline Athletic, they have got the Scottish Cup final. And next season, there's big money behind the scenes at Dunfermline Athletic. One of the big favourites for next season, potentially?
Well, I would think that next season the expectation will be higher, yes. So perhaps that the ambitions will be a little bit loftier. But there's no reason to not look forward to that. They're a good team with a top manager, and clearly there's a good structure in behind the scenes there as well.
And a real feeling of summer on the way, because we're being eaten alive by the midges here, so that's a good thing. What a night for Partick Thistle this evening here at Firhill. They are in the Premiership playoff final. We will have highlights for you next week. Until next time, from all of us on the Sports Scene team. Good night.
Home of every roar, home of every dream, home of the Scottish Cup final.
Well, this is spectacular. Wow, what a strike that is.
Celtic versus Dunfermline Athletic, Saturday the 23rd of May, live on BBC One Scotland.